Hi, and welcome to Business Influencers. Hope everyone's having a great week. Here at Business Influencers, we continue to grow because of you. You, the listener, each and every week tuning in and listening to our group of experts that share their words of wisdom and knowledge to help move your business and personal success to the next level. We count on you to come in and provide us any feedback that we can provide new content that will help you to move forward by reaching out to us at Christophersalem.com. Again, your input helps us to help you better to move your business and scale it to the next level. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing together alumni from all different generation types. This is a great place that you can generate genuine, authentic relationships, taking out the noise of all the social media with no notifications. This is ideal for those people that don't use Facebook a lot or LinkedIn or Instagram, but a place that you can share ideas, photos, concepts, videos, and great ways to rekindle old relationships and meet people new for the first time. Also, a great place that you might find your next job or business opportunity. And because it's a membership program, you have the opportunity to tap into business resources and other services that you would normally not get on your own. Check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about reverse success. And I love this concept. And we got a great man that's going to be sharing that. He understands this concept inside and out. His name is Justin Cunningham, and he is from New Zealand. And Justin is not only going to be a great guest here today, but he's a very great friend as well to me. And a little bit about Justin before we introduce him. He helps thought leader business owners make simple changes and radically grow profits through standing out, creating transformative content and offers, and optimizing effectiveness. Justin is a former international music performer, designer, event producer, and editor of a New Zealand entrepreneur magazine. His business career as a global sales trainer, accelerated results educator, and the founder of the Shift Agent movement has led Justin, or also JC Cunningham, to develop the celebrated Shift Your Results system. Justin is best known for his fast result recipes for time-poor businesses and his ability to simplify the complexity of standing out and being rewarded in a saturated markets. Phil Palooka of Billionaires and Boxers, after getting support from Justin, said, "I was really impressed that we've had such a short call. I mean, I put it like an extra $100,000 in my back pocket." And I can tell you that is a fact. And without further ado, we welcome Justin Cunningham to the show. Justin, how are you doing today?
Oh, very well. Thanks, Chris. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And that amazing intro makes me sound like I need some sort of a superhero cape on.
Well, you are a superhero. And as a matter of fact, you run, that you have an event called Super Friends that's just a phenomenal, content provider of great, not only great people, but great content to help people move along in their businesses and so on. So let's talk about reverse success. When people hear that are listening live right now, and those that will be listening on demand, what does that concept mean, reverse success?
Well, a lot of the ways that we've been conditioned to believe is I start here and I'm going to go there. Like I go to school, I get qualified, I go to university, I get more qualified, and then I get a job, and then that job gives me enough money to buy a house, and then I have, and so on and so forth, right? These are the things we've been conditioned to believe. And what I've discovered through product design and training people and coaching people, and also helping people kind of escape overwhelm and suffering within their businesses, is to go in reverse, is to actually allow people to dream. What is the thing that you actually want? And what happens is that when you ask that question, people kind of, it's almost like there's a glitch in the matrix, like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, what is the dream? Like if this job or business or whatever it is that you're doing works out, what have you got? Well, like I'll give you an example. I had one guy on stage with me, and he had a tequila business. And this business was doing pretty good. It would, I was like, it was pretty new and it already reached 7 figures. And he's like, what do you want? And he's like, oh, well, I want my business. No. What do you want? Oh, well, I want a house in Malibu and XYZ. Okay, great. So how much is a house in Malibu overlooking the beach? I'll say 30 million. Okay, 30 million. Okay, great. So currently the valuation of your company is this. If you was to sell it for this factor, and how much shares have you got? And I did all the maths and extrapolated out all this stuff. And so clearly you're playing the wrong game because you're playing local. You have to go global. You need to get the business ready to exit and sell to a major player so that you can get your dreams met. It was like I was reading his tea leaves. He's like, wow, how do you do that? And I was like, I just asked you what you wanted and reverse engineered it into what you're doing.
Yeah.
And most of us don't give ourselves permission to do that because it seems like, oh, that's easier said than done. I'm like, well, no, you've been conditioned to believe you've got to work hard and long and for years, and then one day it's all going to work out. Well, I hate to tell you, but that's mythology.
Yeah.
Because for 95% of us, we do that all our lives. And then we get to the end and we go, that didn't ring true. And the reason is because we believe somebody else's story, somebody else's conditioning. We followed tradition rather than what would actually light us up and fill our hearts and really matters to us. And even if you're not into commercial ideas like a $30 million house, you might be like, well, I want to live by the beach. Okay, so then why are you living in a city? Well, because living in a beach means I need a certain amount of money. No, it doesn't. I can tell you right now, you can go to Bali right now, find somebody who will co-sign with you on a house in Indonesia, and you can be living by the beach. You just have to make the decision. Or you can go to Fiji like Tony Robbins did and invest, and you'll be living by the beach. And what tends to happen is that people just can't wrap their heads around that it could be that simple.
Yeah.
What they do is
can
they
you hone
get
in on that
caught up
again?
in
Because
being
it is
busy.
simple, right? I mean, we make it more complicated. Dig into that, Justin, if you can, about the reverse success.
Yeah. Well, again, there's a fantastic author that I follow, a thought leader guy called Daniel Burrus, who wrote a book called Flash Foresight. And he's all about future trends and what's coming in terms of technology and things and how the world is shifting. And one of the key things that I learned from him was most people are asking the wrong question. So, for example, if you're thinking, well, I need to earn X amount of money, and therefore I need X amount of customers. I'm like, well, that's an interesting way of looking at it. But is that the truth? And you go, well, what do you mean, is that the truth? No, that's what you understand currently. But is that the right question?
Mm.
Again, you'll find people, with growing sales, there's only three ways to grow sales: increase customers, increase average sale, and increase frequency of sale. Now, everybody in the sales industry knows that. What's the hardest thing to do? Get new customers. What's the quickest and easiest thing to do? Increase your average sale.
Mm.
And the third one, again, frequency of sale really just comes back to being a consistent communicator, which I know, Chris, you're a fantastic communicator, very, very consistent with what you do. And as a result, you have this high trust image out there in the universe. And those things aren't complicated. Again, like, I look at you and I know about your business model, and you're getting this fantastic ROI, and you don't have a big infrastructure, you don't have a massive business in terms of organizational structure, and yet you're getting massive yield. Like, if people knew your profit levels, they'd be like, damn, and that's the thing. But you have to be brave enough to claim it.
Yeah.
And then, in order for your mind to accept it, you need evidence.
Mm.
And that is the big reason why people don't do these things that seem obvious. I haven't got any evidence to believe in it. And beliefs form behaviors, and behaviors form outcomes.
Mm.
So I'm good with what the outcome is, but I don't know if I can believe what Justin's saying or how Chris is doing it. And that's what sort of sabotages us. But, I can tell you this works, this reverse engineering works with everything. There's a really great marketer called Frank Kern, and he does an exercise. It's very, very simple. He basically says, look, where are you and what's the problems and struggles you've got and where do you want to be? Oh, it's over here. And then he says, okay, so what are the steps that you would need to take to get from here to there? There you go. That's it. Now you think, that's so simple. And you go, yeah, it is simple. But again, if you again relate it to sales, this is the difference between transactional sales and transformational sales, between taking a sale and making a sale. When you make a sale, you're solution focused, you're transformation focused, you're future focused. When you take a sale, you just want the money in your pocket and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, you see how that correlates with that second element of growing sales, which is increasing your average sale. So all of these things energetically, financially, creatively, personally are actually all aligned. But most people don't think like that. Like they're not sure how to cross their energetic and passionate sort of inner voice with the pragmatic way that they are in the world, and they really struggle to bring them together and to have faith and belief in it. And what I love to do is to show people how special their stuff is and how transformative it could be, both tactically, creatively, and with their messaging and with their energy and the things that they enjoy. Like, nobody wants to do hard work. The idea that hard work pays off, like, no, passionate work pays off. We're all working hard. There's no data to support that concept that hard work is the answer to success. There isn't. But if you're passionate, you'll do the unreasonable.
Yes.
And we've all been through that, where we've been at a crossroads and we're like, I either turn back or I step into this thing, even though I'm scared, even though I'm nervous, even though I'm full of trepidation, and I keep going and I do the unreasonable. And for me, that's been a sort of a theme of my life. You know, I was a top 5 skateboarder. I've skateboarded with Tony Hawk on ramps and, you know, busted my body trying to learn the next trick and get radical and flip upside down and all that stuff. And then I was involved with hip hop music, and I've been a massive music guy all my life. But when I first came across hip hop, I was like, this is so rebellious and edgy and powerful. And I was like, and I was a wordsmith already. So I was like, yeah. And so I jumped onto this thing, and I've always been good with acting and performing and improv. But all of these things took me into places where I had to face my fear. You know, when you get on stage and rap, it's pretty, you can get nervous. If you're in a battle rap where you're competing against somebody else, it's like a verbal game of chess, except the outcomes are a lot more pronounced than a game of chess, you know. So you've got to be sharp, right? And constantly thinking ahead. And so those principles really sort of self-nominated me to help others realize that if there's fear, it's near. So if you're feeling like there's fear, good. That's not a bad thing. That's good. That means A, it's exciting enough. B, it's big enough. And here's the thing, fear manifests in the body exactly the same way as excitement. So you're on the right path. And so I love working with people in that space, because so many people I come across feel trapped by their decisions, trapped by their dream business that turned into a jail cell, trapped by their relationships that aren't quite working out the way they thought they would, and I'm not sure how to change that. Those things really light me up, and I love supporting people with them.
Oh, I love that. No, you did it. You did it. I mean, what you explained about reverse, it's kind of like, like when you hear reverse psychology and reverse engineering, there's so much. And I love that name, reverse success. What would you say, Justin, somebody that's listening to this from a business, let's even use a business perspective, and they're struggling right now in either taking their business to the next level, maybe perhaps their sales have been, pretty much, stagnant for the last year or so. What would you suggest, when you look at reverse success, what would be that first step that, somebody should start to take?
Well, there's a lot to that question, because it could be any number of different things. But there's an old adage that says, if you've got bad sales results, you've got a marketing problem. And if you've got bad marketing results, then you've got a message problem. So inherently, and that's not always universally true, right? Because I mean, if I have poorly trained salespeople, well, of course, my sales aren't going to work. So that's not a marketing problem, that's a skills problem. But more often than not, what I find is that if the activity that you're doing is not translating into a measurable outcome, it's because you're not clear, you're not compelling, and you are not creating any sort of an emotional response. And particularly with men, this is a bit of a weakness.
Yeah.
Because we seem to think that we've either got to be aggressive sales guys, crush it, do it, win it, hustle, muscle, or, we've got to be so slick that, we're coercing everybody, as what they would call a snake oil salesman,
Yeah.
And it's like,
to convince them.
the world doesn't operate like that. Those are polar opposites, this kind of, slick and smooth or aggressive and forceful. It's like, it's such a old and poor performing idea about how men can be. Again, you're a really good example of this. You can be heart-based and genuine and pragmatic and effective. But, our personalities also determine our style. Yeah. For me, I'm a fire starter. I love to get people excited, about themselves, about what's possible, about the future. That's always going to be my winning thing. But also what I discovered through a lot of my training is it's not about being an extrovert or an introvert, because I know introverts will be listening to a guy like me going, well, I'm not like him. That's not going to apply to me. No, you can be a rock star as an introvert. When you say the things that your tribe is feeling, you're a rock star.
Yeah.
When you say, these big talking loud men that think that they represent me, like they don't have a clue. Fantastic. You see, you're talking about what you stand against. And stand for and stand against is really a fantastic exercise for people that are finding that their stuff has gone a bit flat. Now, it works in lots of ways. When you have a team, if you're having friction or people aren't all on the same page, you need to define one common goal that everybody will ascribe to. In New Zealand, we have a big sailing background, and Team New Zealand, who's won the America's Cup multiple times, says their saying is, will this make the boat go faster? Whatever you're about to say next, whatever you're about to do next, will that make the boat go faster? Because we need to win this race. Now, that is a fantastic way of getting all the egos and tension and silo thinking that you get within businesses and nullifying it. Because I don't care whether you're an engineer or a salesperson or in this department. I don't care. Will what you said make the boat go faster? And I found that that's an amazing conflict resolution exercise. And we've all been in meetings that drag on for hours and hours and hours, right? And we go, what was the point? This is the ultimate meeting solution. And if you listen to people like Elon Musk and people like that, they've got very strict rules about how their meetings are run. And you'll see that it follows what I just said pretty much to a T. Now, also out in the market, I want to know, I need to be clear about what is high and what's low, what's good, what's bad, what's effective, what's ineffective, what's old and what's new. And unless you tell me and prove it, I just assume you're like everybody else. And as you know, humans are tribal. So I'm looking to find someone who represents, who sounds like me, kind of looks like me, and sort of experiences the world like me. Like I'm a Gen X kid, right? I'm Gen X. That's my stuff, right? I'm like skateboarding, hip hop, clothes designing. You know, I'm radical. I'm out there. I'll swear every once in a while, and it's like that's my stuff, right? And it's like, and you either dig it or you're challenged by it. On the other hand, you know, and what I also find is that to some people, when you're marketing or trying to promote your business, you go, well, that sounds a bit unsafe. Now, that's a thing in your brain called mirror neurons saying, if I stand out, I'm going to get attacked. But I'll tell you that it's better to be loved and hated than it is to be liked when it comes to trying to be an exceptional business. And I learned this from being a recording artist. I spent a year making a musical album. It was my baby, and I had to release my baby to the world. Now, how do you think I felt about that? Nervous, but excited. And of course, what happens? Some people are like, wow, that was amazing. Your album was great, and and 4 stars in the paper, and wow. Okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then other people are like, it's all right. I don't really like it. I don't like this style. And what I discovered is that we're all judgment machines. You're never going to stop that. But if you can create a strong emotional response, you are getting attention and you are going to resonate on some level. And this also, just talking about sales, when I was 21, I did a door-to-door sales job and I was knocking on about 120 doors a night. Now, for anyone that's done door-to-door sales, first off, salute. Secondly, 98% of the time, people are telling you to F off and get out of here and
get off my
and every once in a while, you come to somebody at the door and they'll be passionately like, oh, what do you want? What are you doing? Well, I'm doing this. Oh, wow, what's so important about that? And at first you could go, oh, they don't want me here, I'm going to leave. Or you go, well, they're passionate about understanding. And here's the thing, if you get past them on the door, those people buy. Mm-hmm. And this is true of all business. 5% of your audience is ready to buy at any one time. So your job is to get the other 95% ready. And for most of us, we get caught up, once we've done some marketing, we get caught up in sales and delivery. And then all of a sudden our results go flat and we have to go back to marketing. And again, coming back to someone like yourself, you're a classic example of someone who's constantly like, I'm speaking here and I'm speaking there and I'm doing this and doing that. I'm like, man, this guy's a rock star. And that comes down to consistency. It comes down to constantly being in conversations and forming deep connections. And it also comes down to, realizing that businesses are just a collection of relationships. Social media is just a platform for you to deepen your relationships. So if you've got an opinion about social media or these platforms and you're like, oh, I don't know if that's for me or my industry or my business, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so you've got no one to blame for your results but yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing to always check in with is, ask your question first. What do I want more than this? 2, what am I going to stop doing? And what am I going to start doing? That's going to enable this thing coming forward. And again, but the first fun thing, like we started the conversation with, is dream. Have a dream. Like, trust your dreams again. I've done a lot of radical things, from being playing on the same stages as Black Eyed Peas and The Roots and Metallica, and took myself to New York by myself, made the final of the biggest rap battle in America, and again, skateboarded with Tony Hawk and the Vans complex and, all this stuff. Why? Because my question to myself was, why not?
That's a great concept.
Why not?
And we've heard of that term, but a lot of people just don't. Why not? I love it.
Yeah. Well, what have you got to lose?
Yeah.
This is the thing. A lot of people don't give themselves permission to have fun, to love what they're doing, and to break out of the norm. And as a result, they get static, normal results, because it's really about your ability to step in and believe in yourself denotes what you're going to receive. Like, if you keep playing it like, I wear a safe suit with a safe message and a safe website, a safe business card with safe shoes, well, stands to reason your results are going to follow suit. You'll be safe. Like, you might pay your bills, and that's how the mind works too. It's like, if your focus is on, getting by, you will. If your focus is on having a great time, you will. If your focus is on going global and traveling the world while I share my message and change the world for the better, you will. And again, it just comes from dreaming and then taking the action to go towards the dream. You know, there is no perfect time for you to live your life, to have freedom, to find love, to become a millionaire. There's no perfect time. There's only your decision. So make a good one.
Wow. Justin, you had shared some valuable insight here today. I mean, and I know you got so much more, to provide, and that's why we're going to have you back on the show again for Reverse Success Part 2, or a continuation of some of the things, because you really dug down deep also, in which a lot of times people don't go there, because there's a foundation to everything. And that's what I love about what you shared here. We have a couple minutes left in the show, and I really would like the audience to get to know you and, better, and how they can get in contact with you, reach out, connect with you, best way, and anything you would like to share or provide them.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, look, on my website, which is ishifresults.com, the letter I, shiftresults.com, I've got a super bundle there of a whole bunch of different things that I've created over the years, which is my gift to anybody that wants to create a conversation with me. Also, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Just put Justin Cunningham, you'll see there. I think it's Justin Cunningham 1. and Facebook, again, Justin Cunningham, Shift Your Results, or just Justin Cunningham if you want to be my mate. So that's pretty simple. I've got kind of all my connects there. And also, and for anybody that wants to reach out, by all means, contact me on LinkedIn or Facebook, and let's start a conversation. My kind of passion is really, I love to help frustrated rock stars go big. So if you kind of feel like, I feel like I'm a rock star, but I'm not where I want to be, and I really would like to give myself permission to kind of go big personally, professionally, profit, passionately, all that stuff. I'm your guy. That's what I love to do. And nothing brings me more joy than helping people remember how great they really are.
Wow, that's powerful. We highly encourage you to get in touch with Justin. I know Justin personally, and I can tell you right now, he is as genuine as it comes. He walks the talk. And this is somebody that, again, you're looking to make a big impact in the world, no matter where you are. If you've already had a successful business and looking to really do something even bigger that provides more meaning and passion in your life, he's the guy. He's the guy that's going to turn that into that rock star status. And he doesn't just focus on the tactics itself. He gets behind the tactics that are really going to build that muscle and foundation to make that happen. Get to know Justin, reach out to him, and connect with him after this show. Justin, thank you so much again for being here and just being you and sharing your words of wisdom with the audience and helping them in their businesses. Again, this applies to any size business that whoever's listening. And again, listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. Again, we highly encourage you to provide feedback. Again, we are here to bring people like Justin in that are going to serve to take you and your business to that next level. And without your input, it doesn't allow us to, make sure that we're getting the right cutting edge information that's going to help you to, propel forward. So we highly encourage you to reach out at chris@christophersalem.com so we can know exactly what is important to you. And we're always here to answer any questions. Again, reach out to Justin. Until then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you here next week.